Now, we will be getting some periodic views from the International Space Station during today's port relocation maneuver. The Dragon itself has maneuvered from the original docking access and past the midway point. We're now in the final stretch of the transition from the midway point, which is the halfway marker between the original docking access and the new one. And Dragon, you see now, is making its way to the new docking access on the space-facing side, really pointing right out towards the space. That's where the International Docking Adapter 3 is located. We're in the final stretch, and now starting to get some views from the International Space Station of Crew Dragon Endeavour in the final stretch of this transition from the midway point to the new docking axis. In the final moments here, we're getting some questions using the hashtag AskNASA. Please keep sending them in as we continue our coverage of Crew Dragon's maneuver to a new port. This first question comes in asking about the views that we're seeing. How come people in Space Station Mission Control Room are able to maintain live views of the International Space Station, but we can't? The answer is that the folks that you're seeing here in Mission Control Houston are looking at the same views that we are. So now we are getting the views from the outside of the International Space Station using some of the external cameras. You see here's a shot from the back of the room. We're now getting these views. Now, the space-to-ground communications, the reason we're able to get these views is due to a communications antenna that's located on the outside of the International Space Station, pointing towards the tracking and data relay satellites. Now, for a large portion of today's maneuver, some of those shots are going to be masked. The communication path between the station, which is 250 miles, and the geosynchronous tracking and data relay satellites, which are more than 22,000 miles from Earth. We mask off those areas to prevent any damage to the communication antennas as they're sending high data rate radio frequency signals, where Dragon really is in between that communication path. So we wouldn't want the high data rate communication signals to bounce off of the Dragon back to the antenna and possibly affect some of the auto track sensors that are on the outside of the station. So the views that you're seeing are going to be periodic. We may lose them as we make our way to the new docking axis. But right now we're in the home stretch getting some good views. The Cronus, the mission controller here in Mission Control Houston, is overexposing the image of the Dragon. You see it sort of very brightly coming into our view now. When the Cronus overexposes the image and increases the aperture of the station's cameras, you can start to see some of the Draco engines firing the different plumes. You'll see that coming out of Dragon as it makes its transition. That helps to stabilize the Dragon as it makes its way from one docking axis to the other. You can see them overexposing now.
Love to see this view of the Crew Dragon approaching the space station autonomously, driving itself. If you recall from the previous version of the previous version of Dragon, the cargo capsules, they dock to the station actually not by docking but by berthing, which essentially required the robotic Canadarm to grapple the spacecraft and bring it to the station manually. So to see Crew Dragon, this upgraded version, flying on its own without any assistance and able to dock autonomously with the space station is an awesome capability that's just so great to see with our eyes here.
Meters.
Copy, 10 meters.
At 10 meters away from this vantage point, you see the Earth there in the lower left corner. We're now flying 262 statute miles over India.
Great shot of the forward.
5 meters.
Great shot of the forward end of Crew Dragon there. Located near the top are the forward Draco thrusters, which of course are not being utilized for today's maneuvers. All the maneuvers are managed with the service section Draco thrusters.
Crew hands off point, 3 meters in closing.
Hands off.
Copy, hands off. Soft capture confirmed.
Copy. Soft capture confirmed.
And with that, we have a confirmed contact and soft capture. Dragon and station were flying 262 miles over western China. That docking time, 6:35 a.m. Central Time, 11:35 GMT.